True.
Alright, clear mics. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Big Boy, and today I'm here with my fellow commentators with episode 2 of the Think Tank GX podcast. You already know who it is.
What's good is T here, out here enjoying nature.
And Joe, looking forward for this nice discussion.
Yeah, nature. T, you are the nature. But in today's topics, just to run it through for you guys real quick, the first one we're talking about is what we've been testing for cups, because you already know it's that grind season. We're going to start hitting it up until we give up, basically. And then we're going to be talking about the Atlantic City Regional, which is going to be the first regional of the season, and what we think expanded will look like for Portland slash Virginia, and then lastly we'll be talking about local meta, and then we might end it up with some discussion of some other random stuff. So, where are we starting today, fellas? What have you guys been testing?
Joe, you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. So, been testing here or there. Right now for cups, as I said in the previous episode, I'm still pretty set on Malamar. I got a pretty decent list with a couple techs in that seems pretty consistent. Played it at a couple events this week. Played pretty well. Um, the second pick I have right now, depending on the meta, is actually Keldeo. I've been testing it quite a bit. I think in best of one it takes a fat L to like Malamar variants. So if I don't, see a lot of Malamars at Cups this weekend, I might pull it out and have some fun. Yeah, T, you want to go through yours?
Um, so my number one pick is still going to be Green's Rashizard because that deck just bodies almost anything going first or second. As long as you see a Green's turn one and Volcanion in the active, you're kind of set. So any deck that can do that and play around any situation, I just love. Coming from being a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I like that. And then Malamar is a good second pick. I personally don't like the list that we have yet because I feel like we should all be playing custom catchers, but fitting that in so hard.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's pretty tight list.
Yeah, it's a grind process. I shared it to the group that Mr. Malamar himself was like, the sooner y'all put it in there, the sooner the deck stops being bad, basically.
And it was the day after I said, "You guys, how are we fitting custom catchers?" So I was just like, I feel validated from that a
I
little
just
bit.
remember someone saying we're not. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it was Dom. Dom was like, "We're not."
I mean,
Come on, guys.
on paper it looks very very consistent, but I think we can squeeze in some stuff.
Yeah, when I built it, I had put in mind more of a spread aspect. So I'm playing Espeon Deoxys as well as Esper just for that extra snipe. It's come in clutch quite a bit actually. I think I played a Malamar Mirror at our locals this past couple days ago, and I won that match in I believe it was 3 turns or 4 turns. He bricked a
Nice.
bit, but I was able to kind of force a checkmate with spell tags as well as that Espeon.
Yeah, I
That's
know
just
firsthand how deadly spell tags can be in any type of psychic matchup. You should ask me about Wheezing versus Wheezing sometime.
Oh, that was I don't want to talk about that. That was a gross time in Pokemon history.
But I guess that's good enough transition. Did you talk about your second one as well, or just are you good?
I'm good.
Alright, so me, you already know, I'm Mr. Blonde Boys, aka I invented it. Not really, but I popularized it. I just, on paper, besides losing to these random little stuff, I don't see how it shouldn't just show up, pop off, and do what it's supposed to do. It's also one of those decks where, like, it's dependent on the Beast Ring turn. There's not a lot of stuff that can really take that away from you anymore. So as long as you have it, you should get it. But
And then
Mhm.
unless you guys disagree, feel free to speak up. I don't really think there's anything that can steal your Beast Ring turn away from you anymore.
Are you doing greens Blounds, or are you playing the
No, I'm
ability
playing
Blounds
the
with
straight
Magneto?
basic Blounds, but I did see some benefits to green, so I was maybe gonna test that. To be honest with you, I haven't tested too much per se. I've just been practicing. What's Homeboy's name? Shinato or whatever his name was.
Shintaro.
Guitaros.
Shintaro. Sorry. I've been practicing his list, and then T was like, "It doesn't have 4 beast rings." I was like, "Oh, didn't know that," because it never felt like I needed it, you know. But
Yeah.
other than that, I think I'm basically on the fire bandwagon. I think my second pick would be Reshizard, because to be honest, I know Malamar's a really good player right now, but everyone, I think I said it in the last podcast, there's just certain decks that don't work for certain people, and Malamar is one of those decks where I can literally copy the world's place list. It just doesn't work for me for whatever reason.
Yeah, and not to mention in our area, there's been a pretty good amount of people playing Malamar. It appears that people are starting to tech against it. I'm seeing a lot of the Hoopa, the new Hoopa, getting played in Pika Rom, as well as some fire decks, and um, that with a Lysander lab can just completely, you know, put you in a tough spot, and it's makes it very difficult to play against.
Yeah, I'm seeing people like if they have a slot, they'll throw in a stadium nab just to have another reason to play that lab.
Yeah, I mean, I like Labs. Labs is a good card. It also shuts down a skateboard, so you have to kind of be very careful with your Jirachis and your searches, and puts you in an awkward position. I think I play 3 Verbank, or sorry, Verbank, not expanded. Um, I play Viridian Forest through Viridians, so I'm able to bounce the stadiums pretty easily. Um, I might play higher counts depending on these techs. We'll see.
So we talked about Blounds, Reshizard, Malamar, and Keldeo. Is there anything you guys think outside of what we're testing that's on the radar?
I mean, I think
Uh,
Pikarom's still good. Of course, it's still good. It's topping in our area. It won. My bud Alex won our. We had a 51 player league or 51 Masters league challenge. He actually won that event with Pikarom.
Nice.
Um, actually, I think there's been Pikarom stopping all over our area. It's still a good play, I think.
Any oddball picks?
Guardian sticks out because any deck that says, I can kill a Pokemon and then take away your hand, kind of disgusting. So Guardian
I
is
think Guardian's
definitely,
that one deck where it's like in the past, I used to say Volcanion was this. There was a lot of decks that would have been good, but the threat of Volcanion like made those decks bad. I think
yeah,
Guardian's that checker deck where it's like,
yeah,
hey, who cares if you beat the top 3 decks? Can you beat this? Because you're probably gonna face it. It may not top, but it will be a problem. And I think
yeah.
Guardian's that check deck where you're probably
And I
gonna see
think,
at least a few at every cup or challenge or something.
Yeah, there were at that 51 person challenge. I believe there was 5 people playing that deck,
Jeez.
and one of them got top 4.
yeah, see, disgusting.
Yeah, it's still sick to play.
Blacephalon just says, "All right, see you next round."
Yep. Ultra Beast Charm. Scoop.
Yep. Well, I did
Yeah,
find out that it's only GXs, so now I
Mhm.
can hit them for 60 with
So
my
you're gonna tickle with an Agonadel, and then they're just gonna heal it off,
yeah.
and then body
Basically,
you. Yeah, it's a tough matchup for sure.
I'm going for that tie or I'm scooping.
I like the deck, but I wouldn't see myself playing it. I played against one at my local shop league challenge, and the guy flipped tails on every single super scoop up he played, and it was kind of amusing. I felt kind of bad for the guy, but
But then you're
that
like,
deck plays
he
scoop up.
decided to play Guardian. This is on him.
yeah.
That
But
deck plays scoop up.
Some lists do.
Oh, I might be in. I might play that.
moving on, I think we've talked about our cups enough, and just to wrap it up, as much stuff as people talk about California in particular, a lot of people adapt very quickly. So it's going to be tough these first couple weeks because everyone expects decks 1, 2, and 3, but it's those rando decks. Like, didn't someone win with like the baby Charizard, I'm pretty sure, or did good with it. So it keeps us
No.
on our toes.
Yeah, like there've been
Rowlet.
some pretty weird stuff. Like the one at my challenge at my shop, Rowlet Eggs won that tournament.
Yeah, see, like we gotta keep on our toes. Not saying that in other places it's not, but it just I think this is one of the formats where it's not rock paper scissors. It's rock paper scissors, dynamite, shotgun. Like there's a lot of variety, in which is I think pretty good for the game. Even though I'm annoyed at like the kind of draw support we have right now, but I'm enjoying it. But moving on, we have the Atlantic City Regional coming up on September 28th, which is basically almost exactly a month away. So
Yeah.
what do you guys think anything drastically is going to change? I think the only thing is what Hidden Fates will be legal probably.
Yeah, Hidden Fates I think is
And I
legal.
don't think anything really like dumb was in Hidden Fates. I guess just the Team Rocket stuff. But as much as I want to say, yeah, Team Rocket go, I don't think it's going to change much. What do you guys think?
I
Um,
don't think so, personally.
okay. I do, and here's why. So recently, I've tested against whatever the Mew Mew deck that won Worlds,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and after actually playing like 10 or 11 games against the deck, I think that deck is a deck. Like, I know
Oh, I
last week
never
I kind of
doubted the deck. It's one of those decks where it's like, you're going to need some practice in it, and you're going to need to know as soon as they flip over a basic, okay, I got to do this. Like, you need to know your game plan from turn one. And a lot of
yeah,
people don't know how to play like that.
but like at first I was writing the deck off because it was just like, okay, power plant stamp, you lose. And though that is true on some occasions, like we get a new Charizard out of this set,
Mm-hmm.
out of Hidden Fates,
Oh
and
yeah.
they can throw that in the discard pile, and the GX attack just does a clean 300.
I
So
saw that. I played
For
against
four
that
energy.
online.
Yeah,
And the
that's
yeah,
pretty
main
for
easy.
thing
four
that I
energy,
noticed was that it was, I think it was 4 for 140. And that's a magic number because 130,
yeah,
and it doesn't have to
yeah,
discard. You can use it again. So it doesn't have
yep,
those awkward attacks where they use, was it Flame Strike? Wherever Charizard's attack is called. And then they can't use it next turn. So they can just
yeah.
go Bop 140, Bop 140, Bop 140.
And this makes the welder engine in that deck so much stronger just because, all right, 4 energy, 140, and I can still attack next turn. Or 4 energy, 300, and I'm clearing a Charizard.
Mm-hmm. And
And with
still the
that deck, it's
threat of the
easy.
230 at any point, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that deck just gets a tiny power boost. And I just feel like it's ridiculous, and it might actually top. Like, we might see one or two squeak into, like, top 8.
I just, it's going to take the right player, like I said.
Yeah.
Once it tops, people will probably follow, like any other deck. But I
Mhm.
definitely think that's a deck where it's like, you got to know your matchups inside and out. You can't, like, if one misplay on turn one could cost you the whole game. Like, I've seen people lose because they benched their Latios out of fear of getting donked or for whatever reason. And because
Yeah.
it wasn't in the discard, because they only play one, I'm assuming. Like,
Hmm,
he
they do.
just couldn't pop off.
I had I had one game where turn 1 I stamped them just because I was trying to empty my hand for Lily playing Pikarom. I stamped them turn 1. He drew his 6 and I power planted because I tech 1 power plant, and he couldn't play the game. And sometimes that's just enough, but then there are other times where, they get reset home Marshadow and then they look at you and laugh.
That's
Yeah.
another card I think they need to up their counts on. But, so you're saying they got more text. So
Yeah,
other than that, you don't think it's going to change much. I'm kind of with Joe, where I honestly, the only thing I think this is adding is the people who want to bling out their decks are going to bling it out more. Like,
I
Yeah.
will.
Mm.
I will definitely agree.
I think the Rocket stuff, if it ever does good, is going to be more of an expanded type thing. Because I think that'd be kind
Well,
of busted and expanded.
it's banned and expanded, right?
Yeah.
What cards? But is the Team Rockets ban?
Yeah, the Jesse
Yeah.
James.
Lame.
Yeah, there was a
Yo,
pretty nasty combo you can do. I had to change a couple lists. I was
Yeah,
getting
they
ready.
were
So
on
technically,
that.
I was right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
there was
so
a
I
pretty
think
nasty combo you could do.
I think we kind of mutually agree. Very little will be changing.
Wait. I want to just go around and ask what everybody thinks top 8 will be, like deck-wise.
Fire, pretty much.
Just
But like,
fire? Just fire?
Just fire. The thing, if
like,
we're talking about it's a regional, right? So anything could happen.
Yeah.
There'll probably be one oddball deck that no one's thought of, where it was just
Mhm.
under people's radar.
Mhm.
But I think the majority will be. I think there'll be majority. For some reason, people like Zard over the Blounds, which I
yeah,
don't get, but I kind of get at the same time. So I think you'll see 2 to 3 Zards. I think one Blound will get in, even though I think it should be 2. And
hmm
to be honest, I am not. Like I said, Pikarom is too consistent not to be up there. I don't get it.
yeah.
So I'm gonna fill the rest with Pikarom. So 1 or 2
All right,
oddballs, 3 Zards, and then what is that, 5, and then 1 Blounds and 2 Pikas.
all right. Joe?
I first of all, I'd like to say I don't expect to see a Mewtwo in top 8. I think people that after Worlds, obviously, it's got a huge target. I think people might play a little more Power Plant than they are Lysander Labs in certain decks. That being said, I'm hoping Malamar makes a top. I'd like to see one up there. But for the most part, I think I agree that you're going to see one Pikarom, maybe 2. You'll probably see a couple Reshizards. And then you might have an oddball deck in there, you know. Hope to see a stall up in top 8.
Maybe that
Um,
Fossils or whatever, because I think that was close to making day 2. Or, I mean, top 8. I think it got like 10th or something.
Okay.
Not sure about that, but there was one in day 2, I think.
It was
Yeah.
like either bubbled or close to bubble, something like that. It was in
I
the
can-
running, basically.
Yeah, I'm always down to see some rogue decks or something interesting in top 8. You never know. Um, I remember when like Celisaur topped Denver, everyone was kind of freaking out, but Javi is our guy from our area. He's been working on that list for a while, and he got up there. So it's cool to see someone do really well with the deck they worked on.
Yeah.
I'm always for like the underdog decks.
Sorry, it was like 66.
Yeah, I was about to say I think you're a little bit off there. I don't remember.
Guardian was the deck that like barely missed out.
Do you guys think a Guardian will make top?
Yeah, I was gonna
'Cause-
I
say.
think that
'cause,
deck
I
is
feel
too
like
dependent on what else shows up.
Well, also Pokemon Center later got a reprint in
Yeah.
Hidden Fates, so you got a little bit of extra heal outside of
Does
that
any
new
deck
potion.
besides that actually benefit from that? Maybe Zard, but I feel like
egg,
Stall
yeah.
egg.
eggs, yeah,
I
anything
was
beefy.
I was telling someone yesterday. I was just like, I feel like eggs now has like a real chance with this reprint because like the deck's already good if it's not expected for, but like add Pokemon Center
What
Lady,
does it
so
play?
it's an
Weakness
extra heal.
policy or something?
That
Uh,
rotated.
What does it do
No,
to
it is
not just get
weakness
bopped
energy.
by any
Weakness
card?
energy.
Weakness energy.
Yeah, the new energy.
Yeah. So you attach it and it has no weakness. But like now you have like an extra heal card that gets you out of paralysis with Pokemon Center Lady because that would be like Pikarom's out to like playing around eggs is you paralyze them and then you hit them again to try and take out an egg. But now this way you can heal 60. You can play whatever other healing item cards you have, but you heal off the paralysis as well, and now you can attack as well. Instead of having to just heal and pass turn.
I actually had to look that up because I couldn't remember if it healed statuses. It heals all of them too. 60
Yeah.
on all of them. I think the
So,
best part about that is a lot of our healing is it has to be active. This can be anything, and I think it's a little bit underrated because I've heard there was people all memeing and mad that people were trying to mix herbs on the bench, which I didn't know had to be active,
yeah.
and then whatever the GX or tag team one's called,
A great potion.
because apparently that has to
Oh
be
yeah.
active too. So I think
Yep.
having some bench healing is definitely gonna it's underrated. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
It's good to have something, an extra healing card in the format, especially without a reliable, like, scoop up option.
Alright, and then I think we've about talked about that. But just real quickly, might as well. We did top 8. If you had to pick a deck to win, what are you guys saying? We'll go with T
I would-
first.
Oh, T first, go ahead.
Oh.
Like if the tournament's tomorrow, what are you playing? Or what are you winning? Either or.
Tournaments tomorrow. In all honesty, I would say if someone refined Shintaro's Blounds list, I could see Blounds winning another regional. As much as I wouldn't like to see that, I could see that happening.
You've come to the dark side, my child.
Joe?
If it was tomorrow, I think I'd have to go with Zard. Zard's in general pretty consistent, and you can play a greens variant with power plants, and you can kind of approach every matchup, and it gives you a lot of options. So I could probably see something like that. Some kind of deck that has a lot of 50-50s in the meta do pretty well.
And I'd have to go with Brownie Boys. The same thing. I just don't. The thing is, I don't think it has 50-50s. I think it has more like 80-20s or 70-30s versus basically every deck not Malamar.
Yeah, but you're biased.
I am, but can you really argue against it though? Does it not just on paper, like if both decks go off, like say they respectively go off according to the plan of the deck, I feel like Blounds should always win.
Oh, okay, 100% outside of Malamar, you would win that argument. But I feel
Yeah,
like
Malamar's
Blounds,
the one deck where it's like, if that goes 100% and you go 100%, you're probably at best 50-50, but it's more like, especially depending on the variant, it's probably more like 80-20 Malamar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Malamar's going to skip your B-string turns pretty easily. So,
Is that the one deck that can skip my turn?
yeah, spell tags and
that
you
and
can set it up.
Pikarom if you let Pikarom do it.
Nah. But that'd be
'Cause,
my
like-
pick. So moving on
'cause,
to
like-
Expanded. Sorry to cut you off. But I'm actually, for once in my life, kind of excited for Expanded. Probably because there hasn't been a regional yet. So no one's just going to freaking say, oh, I'm playing, what did DDG play? Oh, yeah, let's play Control even though I've only played Pikarom for the whole year.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dark is going to be retarded good.
Is that PC? Can we say that? You know
Yes.
we're going with it.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
100%.
There was no negativity in that
100%
word
with
at
you.
all. It was all good. I'm talking about, I think it's going to be so good that there better be some fighting being played. That's all I'm saying. Because, like, on paper, you have Dark Patch. You have Darkrai or Stadium. You're probably still playing the old Darkrai just because it's easier.
No, you're not playing the old Darkrai. You're playing Zora. Oh, old Darkrai, the switching one?
Yeah, for the retreat.
Night Spear too? Bruh.
I'm just saying, like, the only thing I could say bad about Dark for Expanded is it might have too many options. Like, it might have too much to choose from. That's the only thing I could say bad about it.
I mean, I feel like Darkbox it's got a lot of support, obviously, with the new stuff, but I feel like it just takes a hard loss to Garbodor. I could expect a lot of Garbodor decks, probably, for our
True.
first couple regionals. Garbodor and Trevenant tend to be kind of safe plays on a fresh format.
Yeah, I was going to say, it probably loses hard to Item Lock. I forgot Trev. For some reason, I thought that rotated, but that Trev is weak to dark, right?
It is, yes.
So you don't need much. Like they're probably gonna item lock you, but you should theoretically you'll still have your abilities, so you should be able to still
Yeah,
get where
as
you
soon as
want
you
to
say
get.
dark, they
Because you
should
can
knock
throw in
out.
dumb stuff like Zorwark or like
Mm.
I don't know. I
You play
just
Hoopa.
that'd be my play.
Mm.
But also,
So
I feel like item lock, ability lock, that's like Joe said. I think that's who said it. Is gonna
Yeah.
be like if you want to place, Toad's still good, Trevenant's still good, if you have the cards. Also, heads up to all you people who are just now trying to go for invites. Buy your searches now, your computer searches now, your dark patches now, because I just looked the other day and they're not like $80 like they will be next month.
yep.
Yeah. People get hyped, start buying.
Yeah,
All
because
right,
I
wait,
think they were $15 when I looked last Saturday.
wait, really?
Yeah, because I was contemplating buying them and
Oh,
then
we buying now.
holding them.
Which
They're
cards?
Yeah,
probably
we
up
buying.
higher now. Oh, yep, it's already started.
Oh.
Too late.
Yeah, market price is $40. It's already started. So
Oh, wow.
sorry, we should have talked
Well-
about it last week.
There are listings for like below 30.
Yeah,
but-
damaged, moderately played.
There's not a lot of them though. There's 35 on the market at the moment. But,
I mean,
Wait,
that's
wait,
still,
you
to be
guys-
honest, that's still cheaper than what you're gonna pay in a month from now. Because I'm used to this card being like $65.
hmm.
Because everyone tries to buy
Ooh.
that search at the
80
last
last
minute.
season was ridiculous.
Oh, I gotta check Dark Patch because this was like $3. Please don't be more.
All right,
It's-
you do
it's
this
about the
and let
same.
me eat real quick. All right.
Why
So
would you?
I wanted to talk about this. So I have 3 decks built for expanded right now, and I'm just like, this might be what I play for Dallas, because Dallas ain't till January. We don't know what the meta will be, but I think I'm locked in on like these 3. So
But we're also
we
getting
got-
more sets, right?
We get the Cosmic Eclipse set, but I don't like anything in that set so
When's
far.
Dallas? January. I think we'll
January.
get one set,
One
Yeah,
set,
we get the November
and
set.
we'll probably be
But-
in like a pre-release for the next one, but it won't be legal.
Yeah. But so I have Zorotoad built because I just think on an open meta the deck is disgusting. Like you guys said, item lock, just Dougies on everything. I have a personal tech in that list. If anyone looks back on the channel, I have a personal tech of an O1 Garbodor line.
And that
You just
channel would
evolve
be
it from
team
there.
break even.
Yeah.
Or is it just break
So-
even now? Sorry.
Yeah, it's just break even now. So you just evolve the Ditto into a Garbodor, put a Floatstone on it, and now you have your opponent under item and ability lock in a Zoroark deck.
Ew.
You just made my
Yeah,
heart
exactly.
skip a beat because I forgot Floatstone was a card for a minute.
And then second deck I have is another Zoroark deck, but it has a 1/1 line of Jolteon, the AOR Jolteon.
Oh, is it the lightning Zoroark?
Yeah.
Electro? Yeah. No?
So you play Electro Powers to bump up Zoroark's damage output.
Cancerous.
That's all we do here. Look, I'm trying to play Dark till the day I die. That's what I'm getting at.
That is true. Me and T literally became friends because he was known as the guy who always played Dark no matter what the meta was.
Like Darkrai, Hoopa, Evital.
He played
Evital?
for a hot. He played different variations of Evital for a
Oh, of
hot minute.
course. But and then my last deck is obviously Turbo Dark, but I think Mike kind of gave it away earlier. I was gonna play a one Hoopa as a tech, but you guys are 100% correct as it does get destroyed by ability lock. It's
And item
disgusting. Yeah. Item lock is not as bad because against Trevenant you can still just attach energy, and as soon as you get 2 energy, a Dark
Yeah, well,
Pulse
something like
knocks
Toad.
it.
Trevenant, you can kind of cheese your way out.
Yeah, Toad,
Toad is...
Toad, you can kind of work your way around,
Because they're going to be
but
AZ or Ace Rolling, whatever their pickup
yeah,
a choice is nowadays.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
So what you
the
got,
Toad
Joe?
matchup is Pong.
So I've been testing a couple decks here and there. I'm planning to go to Portland, so it's the second regional. The first one being was at Virginia, the right before.
Yeah.
So decks I've been kind of looking at. So I've always been a fan of Archies. I just like going crazy with my Blastoise and just kind of having fun. It's a fun deck to play.
Yeah, that deck's
Um,
fun, alright, if you're playing it.
Yeah, so I like it. Just for fun. I don't know if I'd play it competitively there, but it's been testing all right. Um, also been playing around with Pikarom. The deck's always pretty quick. Hard, hits fast. Final deck, which to be honest, I'm probably leaning towards right now is Sableye Garbodor. It's one of those decks that it's you can do a lot of things with it. A lot of people don't know how to play against it.
Mhm.
In a blind meta, I think it's pretty good. It's been testing pretty well.
The way I've always had this rule for all my friends when I was like, well, how do you beat Sableye Garbodor? And I've always said this for years. If I'm facing a Sableye Garbodor, I'm probably at the top table, so I'll just take that loss. Because no one at the bottom tables is playing that. Because if they go to a regional and saying, I'm playing Sableye Garb, they're 100% in their choice. No one's
Yeah.
ever 50-50 on that deck. So I've been saying it for years. If I ever face Sableye Garb, I'm just going to shake that boy's hand and like, hey, GG. I'll take that resistance, bud. Like, it's going to be near the top just because, like you said, no one knows how to play against it. And it just
Mhm.
keeps getting more and more cancerous. You
Yeah,
ban a card it uses, and then it says, oh, I got you, fam. You're taking away this card. Lusamine. Oh, that's banned now? I'll find another way. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I feel like Sable Garb is one of those decks that it always continues to get better with more and more support. It's probably a bit problematic for the game. Hand
Yep.
lock is kind of gross. But I don't know. I mean, it's
I
still
think
a
that's
deck.
one of the first decks that's control-y that can basically control you from turn one. Most control decks, they need a few turns. Like, they might give up a prize or two. Besides Toad, they're going to
I
item
mean,
lock you as soon as they can attack.
Sable Garden still needs a little bit of time to set up. You got to get your discard ready.
But I think it's the quicker of, like, it's like one of the quicker of all the control-ish decks. And depending on the cards you get in your first couple hands, you can just start disrupting. An energy discard here puts them back 2 turns. And then you do it again, and they're back 5 turns now.
Where's this math coming from?
It's analogy.
I don't
You
know.
put the big numbers, and then they know what you're talking about.
No,
True.
man, it's like you flip over Sableye and a Trubbish, and
And
then
I
they just
scoop.
scoop right
That's
away, and then the easy points.
I'm not going to lie. This is a little biased, but I'm going to look the guy up and down, and I'm like, do I think he knows what he is? It's going to have to depend on the round and all that stuff. Like, if it's, what's the boy from, Washington who used to play that all the time? He won, like, a regional or something. I don't remember his name.
I forgot his name too, but I know who
He
you're
plays
talking.
that deck, like, basically every expanded regional. If I'm playing that
Yeah.
man, hey, shake it up. GG.
Yeah.
Go get some lunch.
Basically. Like, I'm going to go stretch, get a little bar, some water, go punch a wall.
Yo, for real though, have you guys ever looked at an opponent and been like, they don't know what they're doing, and then played it out?
Yeah. I've sized up some people before.
Yeah, I've done that.
But people size me up all the time. They're like, this guy is a da-da-da. Like,
Because I feel like that's just the worst and best thing in the world. One, worse because you're judging someone based on how they look. But 2, then playing it out and destroying them because you were right.
every time you played someone who doesn't sleeve their deck, you're like, ooh, boy, you about to get the clapping.
I think it was last year's Portland or Anaheim. I forget which one. I was playing Trevenant, and
Hmm.
I hit a Mega Guardy round one and just auto loss on auto loss. I just lost.
Yeah.
And then second round, this person comes up, and we're just conversating, right? And he flips over a Trubbish and a Baby Buzzwole. He literally was
Mm.
playing that Baby Buzz Shrine in
Yeah.
Expanded, and I laughed in Trevenant as I just tree slammed his whole board. I felt really bad about it.
You're like,
Couldn't do
hey,
anything.
if you might be able to knock out a Trevenant with a Trash Lance at some point, but who cares?
No, not even. It was just like it was really bad. I don't like. It was gross.
But like we said, all joking aside, that's literally the worst thing to do, because you can think this guy. I tell this, we have a senior player, who I'm not gonna name, but he's a really good player when he tries. But unless it's like, because let's be honest, a lot of the newer players are net deckers. I'll be the first to admit I'm a net decker too. But they'll be like, "Oh, this isn't so and so who won this regional." He'll
Hmm.
immediately be like, "Oh, I got this,"
Yeah.
and then the kid will clap him, and he'll get all like emotional, as teenagers will do. And
Yep.
the thing about him, like, bro, you never assume you're facing the world champion every single time. I don't care if they misplay. I don't care if they fall out their chair. You pretend like they're making the best play ever every single turn, because that's how you get better. That's how you win. You never want to underestimate your opponent.
Also, it's
I've
good
gotten to the point.
sportsmanship too. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I even let people take back plays because, like, I'd rather play you and you make the right decisions.
I'm not gonna lie. I give everybody one freebie.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, you're not getting anything.
If
At a
we're at a
cup
regional,
regional, you ain't getting Jack Schmidt.
nah. Yeah, at a regional, nah, bruh. You let your hand off the card
Because
because
I
it's
used I
done.
did that once to like I don't know the PC way of saying this, but a certain person, and then
There
they
we go.
proceeded to clap me into a different realm because I let him take back something.
Bruh.
And I'm sitting there like, I'm not gonna lie, I was young, dumb, a few years ago. I thought I was the ish, like, and I was already like, because I have a habit of starting off hot at every regional I go to. So I
Yep.
was like 2-0. I was like easy 3-0. In my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get a snack, go chill. I'm 3-0. This is easy. And I let him take back like I don't know what the exact play was, but let's just say Beast Ring for example. Beast Ring to
Hmm.
something, but it was like, oh man, I meant to put it here. Can I take this back? And I'm looking at my hand like, yeah, sure, bud, go ahead. And then he takes it back, proceeds to bot me in a way that I didn't see, and I'm like, okay, never ever
Never
doing that
again.
again.
yeah, sometimes it's best to just in a competitive setting, you just be like, nah, you made that play, you just
Hmm.
go with it. And I mean, it's
Yep.
completely valid. You just can't let the card play the card.
And we do have the benefit of having one former judge slash current judge and a current judge. I don't know if you'd classify yourself as that, Joe, or do you want to be called a player?
I mean, I am judging actively here and
Or are
there,
you a
so
hybrid?
I play and I judge. So I would, yeah, I guess I technically am a hybrid, but
So long story short, just be respectful. We're
yeah,
joking on the podcast here and there. But treat every opponent with respect. Pretend, like I said, pretend they're the world champion, and you'll never be
Yeah.
let down.
nah, pretend they're your mother.
Oh,
You'll never disrespect your mother.
moving on, because yeah, uh, locally. So local meta right now. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of Malamar in my local meta, and it all started with the boy Christian. Him and one of the other local guys. They started the brainstorm. First, they were all on what was he playing? Because Christian was part of the Wheezing gang. Everybody said the
Hmm.
deck was bad, and we still kept performing. And combined, I think we have over 100 points worth of
Oh.
Wheezing. So, a It's not a lot, but it's better than what people would think, you know.
I was like, that's 2 cup wins. That's disgusting.
I mean, I only have 20, so do the math.
Oh man.
Anyways, like, so they were like, well, what's the play? What's the most consistent deck? Of course, first thing that we all went to was Pikarom. But then once you start playing a non-GX deck where it's like, you get comfortable, you know what I mean? Like, oh, knocked me out, big whoop. When you're playing these GX decks, it's a whole different mindset. Every knockout is huge. You're like, oh, wow.
Mhm.
So I think that's why he went to Malamar, because it was like, you don't get punished too much for knockouts, and then they have to kill 6 things while you're sitting over here like, I have to just knock out 3 things. Easy. So
Oh
we've
yeah.
had a lot of Malamar, and of course some fire. We've had Dark Box pick up lately, which is kind of weird. We had 2 people playing Dark Box, and one person started playing the Mewtwo. I don't know if it has a name. I refuse to call it Mew 3, so you'll never hear that out of my mouth.
Why?
But besides that, pretty much, I'm in like this lost hole of decks that aren't working for me. I picked up Pikarom. I think I won 2 games in 3 weeks.
You only
So,
played
Oh,
3
yeah.
games though, right?
no, we play 4 games every week.
You're a man.
Yeah, and it's been all Pikarom. So that's why I'm going to my roots and playing Blounds. But so that's my meta. What you guys got? I think you guys are roughly in the same area, right?
Yeah, we're a little bit north of you. So we're in, well, T and I are in the northern Central Valley, but we get a lot of the Bay Area meta here.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went ahead and I compiled some tops from some of the challenges. I think we've had 5 challenges since Worlds, but I only have 4 of them. So I'll just go through them real quick. So the weekend of Worlds, we did have a challenge. Um, the first, I only got the top 2, but Malamar and the Infinity Stones deck, which is, for those of you who are not aware, it's the Malamar Naganadel deck that is kind of control-y. Got first and second. We got a couple greens Blounds tops. For those of you also not aware, it's just Blacephalon without any Naganadels. Uses a greens engine. There was actually a Keldeo top at that tournament as well. A bunch of Pikarom here and there. The my local shop actually had a pretty weird meta. Actually, there wasn't that many people at our challenge, so that's probably the reason. But we had our first place was an Alolan Eggs that won it, which is like, it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
And then second place was Giratina Malamar. And then we had a Nagaquag there. And then oddly enough, the first person I've run into playing the Mewtwo Mew deck in our area at that.
Oh wow.
After you
tournament.
completely just threw it to the side.
Yeah, but I mean it's our friend Martine, so I mean, I've never seen anyone else play the deck. But
Martine.
Martine, shout out to Martine. He watches this, by the way.
Nice.
But yeah, he played it. He got 4th place with it.
And just for reference, they're the Northern Valley. I'm in Modesto, which I guess is that central?
Yeah, you're more on the central area,
So just so
northern
you guys
central.
can get a rough view of like the distance. It's about a few hours or so. I don't know.
Couple hour and a half from us. So it's pretty close, but I would consider, I'd probably consider Modesto in the Bay Area meta. A lot of us go down there. Likewise, I don't really see you guys travel up here much, but we always go down there.
Yeah, it's a good middle ground, and a lot of the thing about our store is we have a huge local scene, but we also don't have a lot of like points chasers, so that's why you don't see a lot of people travel from our store, which is, I'm trying to change, but at the same time you can't really force someone to do it, especially with London Worlds. People are like, why? But
And we're going.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna do my
And
best
for me
to go.
personally, all right. And for me
I have
personally,
3 goals I have to do that I don't want to talk about at the moment. But if those
nope.
things happen, well, I'm not talking about one of them.
Oh, okay.
2 of them, well, I'm going basically because
Yeah,
if my boy T's going, I can't see him at local, so I'm gonna go fly across the world to go see him, I guess.
there we go.
Attaboy.
Because he can't drive an hour and a half, but I'll fly freaking 8 hours to go hang out with him.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, we're getting drunk if we're going. I've never been drunk before, so why not do it in another country?
I mean,
I mean that.
I mean, same. So I think we're good on that one.
But I real talk, yeah, that's the reason why we don't see people driving up there. But did you have anything to add, T? I know you guys are kind of close, but not the exact same local store or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean we're in the greater
Well,
Sacramento area.
I go to like all the locals. That's my thing.
But are your guys' like my local store is a Modesto one? Are you guys' local store the same one?
No, my local is Davis, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our shop in Davis.
Yeah, and then technically I go to Davis, Roseville, and then Common Command Center. Roseville being in Roseville and Common Command being in
But
Natomas.
CC would probably be your local, right?
Yeah, I would call that my local.
I
I
mean
work
that's
there.
where you TO, yeah. So.
Yeah, but
Okay.
at Roseville, the meta has been really disgusting because it's a lot of Pikarom and then like one Mew Mew. We had a 30-person locals Sunday, the same day as the Davis Challenge. We had a 30 master local, which is disgusting in my opinion. But Pikarom got first, and then Pikarom got third, being me, and then Green's Rushizard got second, and then fourth was Mew Mew, and that's where I realized that Mew Mew might actually be a deck. Other than that, meta's kind of like everywhere, it being locals.
Yeah, and then what I've been noticing, I have been seeing a good amount of people playing Malamar. I think I mentioned it earlier. People in our area have been kind of teching for it. Like I played against last week I played against a Pikarom that played Hoopa. I ended up winning the match, but it made it pretty difficult. I guess while we're on that, we could probably talk about some like techs for people based on your meta.
Yes.
Some of the things that come to mind. So Hoopa is obviously a good Malamar counter. If people are playing heavy Blounds, Tapu Fini, it's a good choice. I personally wouldn't run it. I would more likely run a Hoopa in my area. Yeah, T, you got any more?
I feel like if you're really afraid of Blounds, like if you're playing Zard, I can understand Zard playing a Tapu Fini because I don't feel like you lose hard to any other matchup. Like Blounds is just difficult. It's ridiculous. Other techs. So when was I talking about this? Today? About Latios GX and Malamar just to have a free retreater?
Yeah, that was today.
Yeah, and then also Tag Purge. I feel like that could be a really good tech against like tag team matchups. Like Pikarom, it also helps. It doesn't help with the Hoopa tech whatsoever. But I really like the card, and just having a free retreater when you get under Lysander Labs and you can't escape board out with Jirachi, it just, it's a little helpful thing. Other techs, I don't think I have any off the top of my head. What about you, Mike?
Tex. I just got off the phone. I'm sorry.
No problem. We mentioned Hoopa for Malamars
Are you
and
just talking about Tex in general?
just text in
Yeah.
general. Something if you're expecting
Yeah, we talked
any
about
ideas.
I was already
Hoopa,
playing
Tapu
Hoopa, so
Fini.
that's kind of like expected.
Okay.
I can't really think of anything. Do you count Senility as a tech, I guess, when that starts coming
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, I count
I
that.
think the format's too much in its in infancy for us to start defining techs at the moment. Yeah, you can tech versus... Because the thing about it is, I don't know if people realize, but Lucario's still a card. I think people don't realize that is not
Oh, the
like
Cardio, yeah, the Cardio
legal.
GX.
I don't think people realize that that's still legal because it is.
Yeah, I completely forgot, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because
Like
not only is
Lucario is one of
GX
my
is good,
favorites.
and I'm pretty sure it's GX is colorless if I'm not mistaken.
Double colors. Yep.
All the colors.
I mean, it
Yep.
has to be hit first, but still. And yeah, it bops. Pikachu. It can finish Zard. Mewtwo bodies it, but I'm just saying. I think the thing is, I thought if it was gonna be shown, I thought it would have been shown already, because
Hmm.
going into Worlds, I think if you had to bet, you would have been like, oh, Picarom's probably winning it, like
Hmm.
So if it was gonna be played, I think it was gonna be played then. But I think the majority of people just forgot it was legal because they like
Oh,
barely squeaked in.
I
I
did
mean,
think of another tech. So there was a post, I think it was either Burbank or Hey Fonte, where someone won like a local with Frostlass, Lucario GX. Now that you mentioned it,
I saw that
you
say
played the
Lucario. I didn't know it was the GX.
yeah, it was Frostlass Lucario GX, and he played it because it beats Reshizard and Pikarom.
He's like, I'm gonna beat
I
the two most played decks, and then whatever else I play, I
and
guess
that
I'll just use Frostlass.
that's what you got to do.
I mean, yeah. If your meta's all that and you're hit it all day, you're hit fire. You're
Like in
golden.
the open, we had a freaking Misty Psyduck that in one of the pods.
Oh yeah, he topped, and
No,
then it's won two cups.
he got 15th place.
Oh, it's won two
Wait,
cups since
that's
then.
not 15. Is this the wrong pod? Oh, it got ninth. It bubbled.
Yeah.
It would have bodied top. I don't. It might have lost to the Pidgeotto deck, because I'm sure, because it was in that pod. But the
Yeah.
other decks, it had Pikachu, Zekrom, Malamar, Naganadel, which is that chess or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The Green Zard, Blacephalon, Pikarom, Zard. If that thing would have
Oh,
squeezed in, it would have been like, I'm top 4 at least.
yeah. How do we feel about that as a deck?
I feel like it's too gimmicky. Like, I don't know. Like,
I'd have to look at the list. I haven't actually checked
gonna
it out.
pull
I'm
up
not
the list
super
very
familiar.
quickly because we are
What
gonna
which
have to
which one is
rest.
which pod was it?
The one. It plays Dragonite. That's cancerous because it has.
Yeah, because it plays with Nance.
Oh, for energy acceleration.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
the
It
support
plays
and the
both
supporter.
Dragonite. Is this the same one? Oh, one for the supporter and one for the energy.
And then for the energy.
Jeez.
Gross.
So, I mean, I guess if you you have to rush the Dragonite, obviously. How does
Well,
Lance work again? Is it some dumb
it-
prereq?
If you it's like not ace trainer. It's like teammates where your opponent had to take prize.
So something has to die.
Yeah, and then
if your
you.
opponent takes a knockout, you take 2 dragons out of your deck and put them on the bench. Like,
I forgot
oh, okay.
how dumb Lapras is. So you put the Lapras up, play your Misties, let it die, then you're like, Lance. I feel like this
Yeah.
deck should play more than 2 Jirachi if they're so dependent on all that whole combo, but whatever.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, at that
I
point,
think-
it's more consistency. You got a pretty good count of everything. It looks like. Plus, you got Misty, so you're not having issues finding your supporters.
Really
Oh,
quick,
no.
because we're going to be wrapping pretty soon. Because we were talking about text just a second ago. Which Weevil, I know we kept one of the Weaviles. Did we keep the 50 per ability one or the 60
Yes.
type one?
Yeah, we kept Evil Admonition.
Why the
Yeah.
flip isn't that being played right now?
I could see it as like a one of in Dark Box.
It is
you-
one of in Dark Box.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only place you can play it.
Is it just because it's basically what Trashland's problem was and never had a good partner?
No, I think it's more so that Hoopa exists and it's a basic.
So
And you can throw that in deck easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, 50.
Also,
It's still
even
one
though-
energy, right?
It's one dark energy.
Yeah.
Isn't
So
Hoopa 2
Hoopa
energy
being
though?
colorless is
Hoopa's 1 energy, colorless.
yeah.
I don't know.
So that makes it
I feel
easier.
like you can pull off the Weavile because there's decks that play Ditto and stuff. You're already playing it, just throw a Weavile in there.
Yeah.
But it is one dark, so I guess you'd have to have a rainbow or whatever. I was thinking about it
Dark
last
Ball.
Saturday. I was like, why aren't people playing this? I feel like it would.
Yeah.
Every deck has at least 4 or 5 abilities on the field at all times.
Not always.
I say at least 3. Like if you want it, because you're gonna have 1 or 2 Dedenes. Like for Pikarom, you're gonna have a Dedenne. You're gonna have a Zekrom and insert other ability Pokemon here.
I mean, yeah, but I mean the meta's kind of all over the place. You could very well hit a day where you're hitting all abilities. You can have a day where you're not hitting anything.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the fact that it's a stage 1 just kind of kills it. Um, but even though it is 50 times, um, Hoopa seems to be the main ability. One of the main ability decks is Malamar, and Hoopa does the job there because against the other ability decks, basically like Reshizard or Pikarom,
It
there's
does
other decks that are better.
20 per, right?
It does 20
Yeah.
per, yeah. So it will it'll knock out Giratina
So
pretty easily.
you're doing like 60 because they're gonna have to
Uh,
It's
upgrade
10
Malamar.
plus 20.
weakness, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 20 plus 20. So you're doing 2, 4,
No,
6, 8.
10 plus 20. So
So
yeah.
70. You're doing 70 damage.
And
To a
then
Giratina and
times
it's weak
2,
to dark,
doubled.
so 140.
So 140.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels underwhelming. I also haven't played with it a lot, so maybe you guys, I know you guys have tested that a lot, so you probably know a lot more than me.
Yeah, like it definitely is problematic. Like they put it down and I just immediately go, really? Then I'm like, okay, now I have to like big brain play and um, spread damage enough to take a couple
Yeah, because
prizes at
I've
once.
always just started with it and been like, well, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to wrap it up, you guys have any closing statements so we can wrap this up real quick?
Joe, go first.
Just like to say thanks for having us again. And then to all our viewers, if you guys have any things you want us to talk about, any ideas, thoughts, we're all open ears here. So I'm happy to talk about anything.
T, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave a comment if you guys have any topics you feel like we should talk about. We do have the cup coming up for Labor Day, so expect some info after that because
And where that's
that'll
one
really
in Elk Grove?
Elk Grove.
Yeah.
Alright, so go check it out. I think we talked about it filling up. So go ahead and make sure you guys call ahead of time just to make sure you get into that.
I feel like we'll have a real look at the Bay Area meta after that. So
Yeah. I'll be taking some notes. I'll be the whole day. So I'll just kind of keep an eye on what's topping, counts of how many people are playing what, just to get some data.
I lagged there for a minute, so editor, my apologies. I had to log into something. But just real quick to do my last little 2 cents in, I haven't talked about it with any of the guys, but if you guys want to join, like why not? Why don't we add a 4th? I think we could do that every once in a while.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm all for that.
Get another perspective, swing at things. Also, we have been hearing your criticisms. We are working on it. It's only the 2nd podcast. I know my voice is low. I know once we get that chemistry, it'll be a lot better, and we'll get a lot more entertaining podcasts out for you guys. So I hope you guys stick with us through this little rough patch. I think we're giving you guys some good information. And once we, like I said, build our chemistry up, work out some technical stuff, we're going to be giving you a nice, fully tuned podcast. And I think T talked about possibly looking into adding it to other websites like Spotify or something like that. So you'll be able
Spotify,
to like listen to it on the go, so you don't have to just sit there at your computer screen. So be on the lookout for that. And I don't know if we said it before. I think we said it once. Check out the podcast and a bunch of other videos to come soon on the Break Even. Is it just Break Even, right?
Break Even TCG.
Break Even TCG on YouTube. So come check us out. We're going to be providing a lot of stuff for you guys. And bear with us while we work out all the bugs. So, like I said in the last podcast, this has been your boy, big boy, the homie T,
Was Getty.
and the homie Joe.
What's up?
And we'll catch y'all next week. Same time, same laughs, and same random ramblings. So I'll check you guys
Thank you.
later. Peace.
All right. Take care.
Peace.
I want to push end call on Discord instead of stop recording.
Bruh, true.
Alright.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like the video, leave a comment of what you want to see next, and subscribe.